actually probably 30 seconds, maybe even 10. But the point that I'm trying to make is I didn't always do this. There was a time in my life that I wasn't very proud of who I was. I want you to listen. Everybody has a name, right? What's your name? Right here. David. What's your name? My name is Brenda. Hated that name growing up. Absolutely hated it. And my middle name is Irene. And my maiden name is Ring. Brenda, Irene, Ring. Man, did I get made fun of in school, right? But then things in my life started to change. I started to focus on who I was. And I grew a very successful company. But then at the age of 50, I walked out of serving a 4-year prison sentence. 4 years in the feds. I had over 31,000 hours to evaluate myself. It only takes 10,000 to be a master. So I thought, my life is over, right? Well, the name Brenda means fiery sword. So when you hear the word fire, what do you think of? Destruction. When you hear the word sword, what do you think of? War, maybe? I had destroyed my life. I had destroyed my family's life, my employees' life, through my actions. And I knew I needed to change. So when I said, I'm going to change, I made the decision that I needed to level up. Because see, you can't level up if you're not willing to do it. You first have to recognize that you have a problem. So I tell people, I'm not a motivational speaker, I'm a professional change maker. My middle name, Peace. Irene, Peace. So now, my story is my fire brings the peace. You see, you have to come to terms and have peace with your past so you don't go to war with your future. Because we all do it. We all think, I have a past. So what? Use it to fuel your future. So I got to thinking, I blew my testimony. See, it's one thing to go to prison and get saved. It's another thing to already be a believer and go to prison. So I'm thinking, man, my testimony's shot. But God showed love in that prison cell. And he said, faith, that mustard seed, believe in me, and I'm going to move those mountains. And he did. 4 years I walked out. I was supposed to do a 72-month sentence, and I got out in 44 months. God opened doors. And he said, I'm going to use your story for my glory. I'm going to use your story for my glory. I just said, my name brings peace. My fire cleansed. In nature, and I'm a biologist through education. I'm an educated woman. I'm a scientist, technically. Fire in nature cleans the underbrush from the forest so that new growth can happen. So I thought, people are in prison in their minds. They don't have to be behind the physical wall to be in prison. People are stopped in their life. They're letting fear and doubt and insecurity rule their kingdom. So I decided, not me, not anymore. I usually have a crown, but we're traveling, so I don't have it with me. And I put a crown on, and I rule my kingdom because I'm a child of God. So that gives me the authority and the power. What does the word power mean? It means just to be able. Through God's power, I am able to help others. So I created Becoming the Better You. We can all be better. We can all strive to be better. And then I said, I gotta change my circle. I gotta change my friends. When you change your mindset, you have to change the actions, or your life is not gonna change. So I kind of met some folks like this guy. And I got some people back here that traveled with me. Woo! Your circle matters. So we go by BTBY. I met Chris Cumby. I met some of his circle. Here I am today. And then my why started to really come out because I was still hiding behind my story. This guy kept telling me, Brenda, use your story. Use your story. Nah, he didn't know anything. Then you hear Kevin Harrington's team and all these other folks that say your story. You've heard it this entire conference. Your story. What is it? We decided to turn Becoming the Better You into a business, where we help people to professionally change their mindset, change their actions, change their life. This guy right here, self-made millionaire, he's coming to us, telling us what we have. You all have it. You got to take that step. You got to take that step. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kevin.
Thank you, Brenda. Give her a hand, please. Yes. Powerful story. You know, and one thing that I saw yesterday, I think it was Lisa's presentation, says your story is your superpower. And I said, see, I told you. But my name is Kevin Wilson. We are from Kansas. Just a little bit about me is she said I'm a self-made millionaire. That seems neat, but it's not that sexy. It's not that glorifying. I just realized at 30, I was very fortunate to be involved with some people. We started some business ventures. We were successful in them. I was in charge of the finance because I had a business degree. And I looked and I said, the company's doing great. And I said, hey, this is great. Maybe I should look at my own books. And I looked and I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm broke. Like, this doesn't make sense. Why am I broke, but my company's doing good? And I realized that all through my education, grade school, middle school, high school, college, I've never had any personal finance training. And I said, well, how can that be? We're this socioeconomic society. We're not taught anything about socioeconomics. So I sat down with my wife and I said, I want to be a millionaire in 10 years. Anybody read the book Millionaire Next Door by Dr. Thomas Stanley and William Dacre? Great book. And I was like, so I started reading. And I said, I want to be the millionaire next door. So we put together a plan, 10-year goal. We hit it. By 40, we had a net worth of over $1 million. By 50, we had a net worth of over $2 million. So, but my thing is I'm asked to come and speak and teach and all this stuff, but anybody ever try to tell somebody something that they should do to change their lives and that they don't do it? Like, and that's what I try to tell people with finance. I said, well, look, this is really just basic math. Like we learned the math of it in elementary school. It's addition and subtraction. It was in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Of course, it's an older book, so the money's not the same, but he said, somebody's making $10,000 a month. And somebody said, well, how can somebody be broke if they're making $10,000 a month? And he said, easy, spend 11. Right? I mean, it's just basic math. So there's something larger going on with people. And that's what I love about the Becoming the Better You is that all of us are broken at our own level. I mean, when we really look in the mirror, we have this unique thing to look out to everybody else and think they've all got it figured out. You saw some great presenters here today. They've got some great information. They've got their own brokenness, and on some level, we all do. We watch the person on the stage or the person next to us or the story we hear, and we go, they've got it all figured out. What's wrong with me? And then we have social media pour onto that, and we get to see everybody's highlight reel, and we think that's their life. Everybody's on vacation. Everybody's in a healthy marriage. Everybody's got great kids. What's wrong with me, right? But we all have our own struggles. And so when I work with people on finance, I realize that there has to be something else going on here. There's actually, Chris Cumby, I gave him my book when I met him. It's Difficult Demon. I have a chapter called 10,000 Shades of Gray, and it's in the chapter on progress. The problem is we are always present to our own progress. Has anybody ever started like a makeup line or like a workout routine, like a new one? Has anybody ever done that? What's the first thing they have you do before you start it? Does anybody know? Usually. They have you take a picture. Why? Because if you look in the mirror every single day, you see you every day, and when change is happening, you don't see it. Right? If you see anybody have that friend that they had years ago and they run into him years later, sometimes you're like, man, you look good. Other times you go like, well, what happened? I mean, hey, good to see you, right? Right? You had to be distant from that person or that change to see it over the long term. So you have to take that picture. In that book, we have the 10,000 Shades of Gray. If you have 10,000 from white to black and the shades of gray in between, you do not realize you made change stepping over one shade of gray. And then you step over another shade of gray and you don't see it. And you step over another shade of gray. It takes that distance, that disconnect in order to see it. So the great thing is when you are present to your own progress, some of the biggest change that can happen most effectively and quickly is when you're with other people. When you have synergy of other people that are trying to be change makers, trying to make a difference in their lives, which is what Brenda set up, what she does. She has a very powerful story, and she took her experience and, of course, wants to pour that experience into others. Now, they don't have to go to prison. When I work with you, you don't have to be broke. Please don't. But we work with people at whatever level they are at. This is level up, but if you're at a level 4 and go to level 5, sometimes you don't know it because you're just one shade closer. But you have to be in a group of people that are encouraging, that are motivating, that systematize it, and that's what we do. I was very fortunate. I met Brenda in another event with the other business partner. I met her having no idea that our relationship, it would change my life. I love what I do. I love what we do. I love becoming the better you, and we're thankful to be here today talking to you, other like-minded people that are just looking to level up and make a change in their lives, and we just wanted to share our story with you here today.
Absolutely. We are such a versatile group, and I don't mean that with race. I mean it with walks of life, with mindset, with where you are at different levels in your life. And we help you get to the next platform. So I want you all to do this. Put your hands like this. This is your crown. And I want you to put your crown on your head. I want you to say, I rule my kingdom.
I rule my kingdom.
You are the only person stopping you. See, I'm educated. They can't take my experience from me. They can't take my knowledge, anything, unless I give it to them. And I let that stop me. I let it stop me. My mother gave me the slap and said, get out of your own way. Go do what you want to do. So my fire, God cleaned my path. He took care of all that junk, and he made it go away. He made it go away. He made it go away. So I could do this. Happiness is success for me. It's not always about the money. ComeChangeYourLife.com is where we are. Want everybody to see what's on the back of my shirt. How about that?
Coffee cup Chuck.
You have to support your circle too. If you expect your people to show up for you, show up for them. That's how you level up. You got to show up. See you guys.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Our mess can be our message. And also, as Kevin mentioned, as you look at experts, everyone has issues we're all going through. We all got struggles. We all have trials. And sometimes when it comes to fixing those, people focus on just the body, just the soul, the spirit, the mind. In reality, we're a complete being. God's made us that way. And our next speaker, Mike Sanders, has this mission, this vision. He helps individuals and organizations increase the potential of the human platform in the spirit, the mind, and the body. He believes that most people only scratch the surface of their life potential, and he has dedicated his life to helping people reach out. Does he have credibility? He's a 2X national champion in division men's ice hockey. He's human performance coach for collegiate professional Olympic athletes, human performance coach for SEALs and Green Berets, author and founder of Junto Tribe Ministries, which is out in Niceville. Please welcome Mike Sanders.
Thanks, buddy.